We're Julian, and we're going to ask for your support for the Community as Curator project. In this brief presentation, you will hear why Greater Manchester's cultural institutions are failing online communities and why this is important. What the project is, how to engage with it, the kind of problem it's going to solve, i.e. failure of online communities, and what the benefit will be, and also the legacy. So what is an online community, and why do they pose a different set of challenges for museums? Well, these communities are connected to one another by a common shared interest. Unlike traditional community definitions, they are not necessarily bound by geography, age, class, wealth, or work. They are people who come together by searching the internet and sharing what they find across social platforms, connecting to one another through a common community vocabulary. In their own right, these communities both produce and curate vast amounts of web digital content to reflect what's interesting to them. Examples can be a sporting hero, a news event, love, loss, all are communities of interest. So the Community as Curator project uses that experience of search and sharing activity, exploring how it connects people into communities of shared interest as both a context and a methodology for interpreting and distributing the knowledge banked in Manchester's and Salford's museums. Communities will be facilitated to, in effect, Google the museum and to engage in real-life topics. I just want to introduce you to, before any further, into Matt. Matt is from Ardwick. Matt attended St. Elsbeth School in 1909 and left at 16. He also works for a warehouse. Matt's interesting for two reasons. Matt doesn't go to museums, has never been to a museum, but he is very engaged in communities online, very active and participating in things that are interested to him in Manchester. In fact, his community involvement online is one that is passionate about this area. So why doesn't Matt go to museums? Well, because he says there's nothing he particularly wants to see. In a Mori poll, 41% of people who don't visit museums gave the same reason. How is it that a lack of relevant content can be given as a reason for not visiting a place when the potential visitor, i.e. Matt, cannot possibly know what knowledge is banked in the collections and the staff of the museum? The internet has solved this problem of uninformed access to vast amounts of data. If we don't know about something, we turn to Google and we search, and believing it is more likely or not going to be something of interest to us. It's just a case of finding it. So it makes content relevant. And the Curator project takes a shift in expectation from the established internet behaviour and puts it at the heart of the museum experience. Searching for knowledge within specific parameters is in itself an act of curatorship, hence the project's title, Community as Curator. Committed, as this project is, to context of online sociability, the Community as Curator project rethinks traditional methodologies of museum outreach, employing digital tools to disrupt the activity of online communities in order to engage people like Matt. So how this was, well, back at Matt, our active online participator. One of the groups he engages with in most is Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton connects literally thousands of people in this city together, and we want to use that to connect those thousands of people to the collections and the cultural heritage of Manchester. So how do we go about this? We're going to look at what boxing represents. Boxing is a rich subject that touches many narratives held within the collection. Challenging, exciting, and for some perhaps uncomfortable, but this is Matt curating, so this is what we work with. We'll ask, perhaps, get Ricky, now he's looking for work, to visit the museums, engage the community to produce digital content around that visit. In effect, the Hatton community will curate the collection for Matt. And how will Matt? He'll interact with this content, his ordinary day-to-day search and share activity as a participant of the Hatton community. He will come across new content created by the Community as Curator team. Perhaps it'd be a podcast, an interview of Ricky talking about the collection, a YouTube video, a visit of some of the images and objects interpreting boxing theme. This means that a disruptive act of the project has given someone a first-hand experience of collections of cultural heritage of the city that might otherwise never have happened, but its potential is much bigger than that. What we want this project to be is mainly scalable and to give something back after it's gone. It will live on through the community's own activity. Content won't just sit in an isolated Community as Curator wiki, but will be mashed up, added to, and reinterpreted by users in ways the project team cannot predict or have control of. It is Community as Curator. Thank you.